The Superman trailer becomes the most viewed in Warner Brothers and DC history. Sonic mauls Mufasa at the box office. Christopher Nolan gets knighted. James Bond is stalled and in trouble. Greg Fraser will not film Dune 3. The Mummy is getting remade at Blumhouse. And Damien, Chazelle, and Leonardo DiCaprio are teaming up. Let's break down this week's movie news. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Movie News on Raiders of the Lost podcast. There are so many insanely big stories that happened this week. Cannot wait to break it all down. Anthony is home in Boston for Christmas, so you just got me, James, to host the show today, which is it's really all we need, let's be honest. But let's start off with the box office before we get into this jam-packed episode of massive news stories. First of all, box office. Sonic 3 has decimated Mufasa at the box office. Domestically, Sonic 3 pulled in $70 million in its opening weekend, the highest of the franchise, on a $122 million budget. That is a huge hit they have on their hands. Everyone loves Sonic. I love Sonic. A lot of you listeners love Sonic as well, and they really have proven 3 times in a row with their movies that they are the king of animated films, live action. And then Mufasa, the quote-unquote kind of live-action movie from Disney, second place with $36 million its opening weekend. Still a really good performer, but again, we have a budget here of $200 million compared to Sonic's $122. So Sonic 3 has defanged the Lion King franchise. Wicked, third place with $14 million in its, I think, 5th weekend at the box office. Massive hit. Over $300 million domestically for this film. Moana 2, another $13 million in, I believe, its 4th weekend at the box office. Homestead, $5.5 million. Gladiator 2, still making some money as well. $4.8 million to add to its stats. That has passed $400 million worldwide as well. Kraven the Hunter, in its 2nd weekend at the box office, pulled $3.1 million at the domestic box office. North America, America and Canada, Kraven in its 2nd weekend, only $3 million. Domestically, for its total, for 2 weeks of release, Kraven the Hunter for Sony, $17 million. I believe it's only at $29 million around the world. That is a huge bomb, one of the biggest we've ever seen for comic book movies. And just bad news for Sony, which had another big bad story going on this week involving the Spider-Verse, which we'll get into in a little bit. But Kraven the Hunter, what a massive failure for the studio. And who knows what's going to happen future movies with them outside of Spider-Man. It looks like they're going to be just hitching their wagon to Venom and Spider-Man in the future, which, if that's what's making you money, that's what's going to happen. Red won $1.5 million in its, I think, 5th week of release. And then Lord of the Rings, War of the Rohirrim, it's also 2nd week at the box office. $1.2 million in its 2nd weekend domestically. Another bomb. Not as big of a bomb as Kraven, but still, you're making $1 million on your feature. With the name Lord of the Rings, that's bad. $7 million domestic total for its entire theatrical run so far. Not very good news, even though that budget was more around $35 million plus to marketing. Still not a good performer for them at the box office. And, you know, we have live action Lord of the Rings coming out in a couple of years, which we're all excited about. But was this the right move? This animated feature, nothing against animation, but I think maybe people weren't into this story. But clearly they spoke with their wallets, and this movie did not do well. Just like Kraven, it seems like people didn't want that story. So I think a lot of studios are realizing what's working, what's not working right now. But that box office, that news is done because we have so many insanely big stories that we have to get to. I can't believe how many massive articles there are or news topics to go through. But first of all, biggest news of the week, Superman dropped a teaser and then a full-length trailer for us, as well as last week we got that poster, which was really amazing, and on Monday morning a little bit of the music. They've also released one track from John Murphy with the music. This trailer was fantastic, and you know, this Superman trailer for me personally has really reinvigorated my passion for superhero movies and my excitement for comic book movies because of the downhill trajectory they've been on for quite a while now, for the most part, not all of them, but this Superman trailer really got me very, very excited. Genuinely, I am stoked for the future of the DCU. And it looks like for the first time in a while, DC is about to take the lead from MCU and Marvel. This Superman trailer, over 250 million views in just, I think, 24 hours. Officially, this Superman trailer is the most viewed and talked about trailer ever in the history of Warner Brothers and DC. That's huge because Warner Brothers has some pretty big IPs outside of comic books. But as many of you know, Anthony and I had an incredible privilege to go in person this past Monday to see an exclusive premiere of the trailer at Warner Brothers Studios a few days before they released it online. We did this last Monday. We were so fortunate and we're so grateful for the experience. Warner Brothers let us film some content with the cast of Superman. We got to chat with James Gunn, David Cornsweet. We had Rachel Brosnahan and Nicholas Hoult. All incredible actors and just a great visionary with James Gunn. And we had such a great time, and our content's doing really, really well. Everyone's loving it. The comment and engagement is so high, and that's the reason why we get to do stuff like this, is because you all engage with our content and are helping us build our platforms up. So if you see our content on Instagram or TikTok, Twitter in the next couple of days with this stuff, the more engagement, the better. And that's what really helps us get these opportunities to be able to get access to the actors and the directors of these movies. So fortunate, so grateful. It was an incredible, incredible day spent. And that trailer, I know you all watched it online. Amazing. We saw it in a theater twice. And I got to say, it was a religious experience. It was out of body. I had goosebumps the entire time. It was surreal. I'm really excited about this Superman. The kindness, the color, the joyfulness, the positivity. And I wasn't fully on board with all different kinds of superheroes being in it, but I'm all on board. It looks incredible, and I think Cornsweet's going to blow people's hair back as Superman, but I think Lex Luthor with Nicholas Hoult is going to be maybe the villain of the year in 2025. This movie's coming out in July, on July 11th. It's coming out very soon. I'm ecstatic. This trailer was fantastic. Obviously, so many people are breaking down all the details in it, but it was really exciting, and obviously, one of the most exciting parts is Krypto the dog being in this trailer, in this movie. And I'm so excited to see more about Krypto, because when we did a Q&A with James too, he talked about how Krypto isn't exactly the best dog. He's obviously super powered, but he might, I'm guessing, be very stubborn and funny. And this trailer is exciting, and this movie is going to be absolutely incredible. Cannot wait. Hopefully we get more of these opportunities in the future. Thank you to everyone who's been commenting and sharing our content. Now, I want to talk about James Bond. Because Anthony and I, we've been warning everyone about this for months, ever since Amazon bought MGM. We've been very worried. You know, they made that James Bond reality TV show, and Anthony and I said, this is just the start. This is just the start of just milking an IP for everything it's worth. Just the corporate obsession with just taking something successful and doing everything you can with it, which will dilute this product. It will dilute James Bond and the legacy of the character in the franchise. And Amazon and Barbara Broccoli, who is in control of the rights of James Bond, her and her family, obviously her father passed it on to her. And so she and her family have been in control of James Bond, not MGM. They've just partnered with MGM for all of the movies for the most part. But she inherited the James Bond IP, basically, in control of it from her father, Albert Cubby Broccoli, who, you know, for 30 years was the one who would decide whether a Bond movie could go into production or not. And she sort of has that, she basically has that control over the James Bond franchise. Now, MGM was purchased by Amazon about 3 years ago for $6.5 billion. And with that, they got the rights basically to do James Bond movies. But in the contracts, which is very smart by Barbara and her family, they still maintain control of the James Bond IP in terms of what direction it would go in and what the films would be like. She still has creative control over the IP for movies. However, even though everyone's been saying Aaron Taylor Johnson might get cast, recently it was announced that Josh O'Connor is in talks to star as Bond, which is its whole other thing. But now it's coming out that James Bond has stalled. The movie has stalled because Amazon basically wants to treat James Bond-like content, which we all knew they would. And Barbara Broccoli doesn't want that to happen. She is put off by the word content, And obviously she understands the prestige that the name James Bond has. But, if Amazon wants to make, which I've read from quotes, they want to make a 007 female spinoff. They want to make a TV show spinoff. They want to make a Pennywise origin spinoff. They want to make a Q spinoff. They want to take everything they can from the franchise. They'd probably make an M franchise and make as much as they can. I think it's great for Barbara to still be in control and to not rush this and just to stay in control so that this IP doesn't get diluted. James Bond should only be movies. It should never be TV shows. It should never be reality shows. It should never be spin-offs. It should always just be James Bond, 007. That's the movie. Every few years, every 5 years, whatever it is, that's what we should do. That's what James Bond has always been, and that's what James Bond should always be. Barbara understands that. Good thing she's still got control over this, because clearly, as we predicted, a lot of people didn't realize how quickly Amazon will want to do this, but hopefully she can maintain that control and really ensure that James Bond will only be seen in theaters, obviously before digital and physical media releases, but we only see James Bond in theaters versus spin-offs and TV shows and reality shows. Because I know, Anthony and I were not excited about that reality TV show. I highly doubt that Barbara wasn't ticked off about it either. Let's move into some more British news. Christopher Nolan has been knighted. So has his partner, Emma Thomas. They've been knighted by the King of England. They are now Sir Christopher Nolan and Dame Emma Thomas. And this is really exciting stuff. Obviously, this was inevitable. Nolan being born in England, having dual citizenship. Him and his family split time in England. I believe his mother moved to Chicago, I think. And so he would do Chicago, England. His brother doesn't actually have an English accent because he was younger when they acclimated to American culture. But Chris obviously still has his British accent. But I think it's really exciting. It's probably the biggest honor he could have besides winning that Academy Award for Best Director. So what a year Christopher Nolan's had. Obviously well-deserved. What an incredible career. But also, I saw this tweet that said, imagine you're so successful that your wife gets knighted as well. And that was just so ignorant, because Emma Thomas could arguably be the greatest producer of the 21st century, whether people realize it or not. She's not just Christopher Nolan's wife. She's not just Christopher Nolan's partner. She's been with him from the beginning, and producing is so integral to any movie. And Emma Thomas has clearly proven that she is an incredible producer, much deserved of being knighted as well. And I'm so happy for both of them, and it's incredible. And both of them getting the recognition for such incredible careers. But I would argue that Emma Thomas is maybe the most important and probably the best producer of the 21st century. Think about the movies she's done. It's incredible. Also, some more Nolan news. Christopher Nolan says Gladiator 2 is his favorite movie of 2024. That is based. Christopher Nolan, my G, you are a film boy. We knew you were a film guy, film bro. Gladiator 2, we love as well. I know a lot of people have a lot of distaste in their mouth after seeing that film, but fuck, that movie's good. That movie's fantastic. He said the effect is not just to entertain, but to drive us towards awareness of the movie's themes. Christopher Nolan's Interstellar also became the highest grossing IMAX re-release ever. And what a hit. They could honestly just play Interstellar all year in movie theaters. They'd probably pull $100 million every year. Okay, let's get into some Beyond the Spider-Verse news and controversy. Beyond the Spider-Verse will not release in 2025. And to quote the filmmakers, they're taking a lot of tender, loving care. Anthony and I recently said and made a video that Beyond the Spider-Verse was not coming out next year, and we got destroyed. But look, it's not coming out in 2025. What do we tell you? Also, some recent Spider-Verse controversy. I don't know too much about what's going on here with Shameik Moore, but apparently Shameik Moore he's deleted his Instagram account, he deleted his Twitter account. We don't really speak much about gossip on the show, but this is obviously related to Spider-Verse, and it's kind of big. It maybe could lead to more delays with Spider-Verse, where Laura Harrier posted basically a video calling him out because Shameik posted a photo of the two of them together that they took a year ago. Laura Harrier is an actress. She's in the Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland and Zendaya. She plays the the girl that has a crush on Tom in Homecoming, and the girl he takes to prom. I can't remember the character's name, Liz, maybe. So I guess there's this big controversy that's caused Shameik Moore to shut down his social media accounts, and the internet is going after the guy. I don't know anything about it, really. I just watched some of this video, and it was pretty cringe, but I wonder if that will have any more impact on the delays of Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. I would not be surprised. How about we talk about some Dune news? We all know that Greg Fraser, the incredible cinematographer of both Dune, Dune 2, and The Batman, had to make a choice. Dune Part 3, Dune Messiah, and The Batman 2 are both filming at the same time in 2025. And when you're a cinematographer this talented on movies this big, it takes a lot of time to prep, it takes a lot of time to plan, and a lot of time to shoot. So Greg Fraser had to choose between the two. It's been about a month since we knew that this was going to happen. He's finally made his decision. Greg Fraser will not return for Dune 3, Dune Messiah. Instead, he's going to film The Batman 2. And Linus Sandgren will be the cinematographer taking over duties for Dune Messiah. Linus Sandgren is easily a top 5 cinematographer alive. He's absolutely fantastic, so talented. La La Land, No Time to Die. You've seen his movies. He's phenomenal. He'll make any movie look brilliant, magnificent. He's an excellent, excellent choice to do Dune Part 3, Dune Messiah. Greg Fraser picking The Batman 2, I think makes sense for me. I think The Batman is visually just as stunning as the Dune films, but just in different ways. And if I'm him, I'm in his shoes. I've done 2 Dune movies. I've only done 1 Batman movie. If I have to choose again, I'm going to go Batman again so that I can do 2 of each. I feel like he's probably done everything that he's wanted to do with Dune. Everything that maybe he can do. Obviously, they would push new boundaries for the 3rd film for sure. But I think that's a decision I would probably make too of, you know what, let's go do the Batman again because it's been so much time since I've done that again. I would love to go and film it. They haven't filmed that movie that came out in 2021, it's been a while. So I think I understand that decision. And again, Linus Sandgren, one of the most talented cinematographers out there. Fantastic, fantastic DP. So artistic as well. It's a win-win. It's a win-win situation for both movies. And I'm sure Linus was probably going to be in the running for the Batman. So it's probably the 2 of them were like, all right, who's going to do the Batman? Who's going to be Dune? And I think both movies are going to be phenomenal and look great. Some more news. Another remake, another reboot of a Universal monster, a horror monster. The Mummy is getting a remake with Blumhouse, distributed by Warner Brothers. Lee Cronin, the director behind Evil Dead Rise, will write and direct. And the tagline right now is something terrifying will unleash in 2026. Cronin will write and direct. This movie will come out on April 17th, 2026. New Line Cinema. Lord of the Rings, obviously, Warner Brothers. And to quote Cronin, this will be unlike any mummy movie you have ever laid eyeballs on before. I'm digging deep into the earth to raise something very ancient and very frightening, he said in a statement recently. Like I've been saying recently on the show, and Anthony as well, these remakes, these reboots, they're going to keep happening. The Mummy's been done 8 times before. Between I think it was 32 to 1955. It was done 6 times. It's been done 4 times this century, or 1999, and then the rest of the century. Frankenstein's been done 100 times. Dracula's been done 100 times. There's been Nosferatu. It's who knows how many times that movie's been remade. It's the 3rd big movie of that film, but there have been so many Nosferatu movies. The Mummy remake, it's soon. The last one was Tom Cruise, obviously. And I think it's probably going to start from scratch. But again, this is what they were trying to do 10 years ago at the Universal Dark Monster universe, where they were going to have Tom Cruise's Mummy. They were going to have Russell Crowe as Mr. Jekyll and Dr. Hyde. They were going to have Johnny Depp as the Invisible Man, I believe. And then the Mummy comes out, and it blows the whole plan up, destroys the Dark Universe because the movie was so bad and performed so poorly. But then, Lee Wannell makes The Invisible Man in 2020. Fantastic movie. Huge hit. Imagine what that movie would have done numbers. if it didn't get locked down. It still made $200 million before lockdowns happened in February 2020. And then we have, or was it April? I can't remember. Sometime in 2020 when that movie came out. And then we have Lee Wannell's Wolfman coming out in January, which looks fantastic. Seinfeld came out for a second. Looks fantastic. I think this is smart because you're starting to make your MonsterVerse again. We have an Invisible Man that came out. We're probably going to get a sequel, which would be amazing. We have the Wolfman coming out. Now we're going to have the Mummy coming out. So these movies, these monster movies, you can get upset if you want, but they've always been getting remade. We have a Frankenstein movie coming out in 2025. We have a Bride of Frankenstein movie coming out in 2025. It's just these are never going to end. And of course, I think we always feel like our era is the main era, but it's not. There's been decades and decades and decades where there have been Mummy movies made, Dracula movies made, zombie movies made, Frankenstein movies made. So at the end of the day, it feels like it's not the usual, not the norm, but remakes of monster movies have always happened. And I think, all power to them. I think Evil Dead Rise was really good. I like the other Evil Dead remake better from Fede. But I think that was a really solid movie, and I'm sure he'll bring something terrifying. And I bet you it'll be something unique and new. And as long as it's a new version of it, I'm happy with it. So, you know what? At the end of the day, there's nothing we can do except hope it's good. We have no control over this, guys. But what we do have control over is our reactions to Damien Chazelle and Leonardo DiCaprio teaming up for a new movie. Damien Chazelle's next film after Babylon will be Evel Knievel. I don't know what the title will be yet, but Leonardo DiCaprio will play Leonardo DiCaprio. Leonardo DiCaprio will play Evel Knievel in Damien Chazelle's next film, which is freaking awesome. I think that's such a cool idea. It's so unique, so untapped. And I'm disappointed that Andy Samberg didn't get this role. Just kidding. Hot Rod reference. Fantastic comedy. But this sounds fucking cool. This sounds really cool. DiCaprio's just really, he only works with great directors, great filmmakers. And we all know Damien Chazelle is an all-timer. By the end of his career, will be considered. He's a wonderful director. He's made some of the best movies of the last 20 years. And I think this is such a cool pairing because Leo's got a movie coming out with Paul Thomas Anderson next year. And then he's going to make a movie with Damien Chazelle. And I'm sure him and Marty are going to work again because Marty probably only has 2 or 3 movies left in him. But this is really exciting news. I'm very excited about this. Another movie I had no idea was coming out or being made right now, Fountain of Youth from Guy Ritchie. This guy makes a movie a year. It's insane. So we got our first look at Fountain of Youth starring John Krasinski, Eiza Gonzalez, and Natalie Portman. And it's described as a contemporary Indiana Jones. The film follows siblings who partner on a global heist to find the mythical Fountain of Youth. Sign me the fuck up, Guy Ritchie. First of all, love his movies. Sometimes hit or miss here and there, but overall, love Guy Ritchie as a director. Working with Krasinski for the first time, that sounds awesome. And Natalie Portman. Natalie Portman. And the BTS photos look cool. It looks like Krasinski's dressed in sort of a Nathan Drake, Indiana Jones-esque outfit. And I think he's a great choice for this sort of adventure-running guy. I'm assuming him and Natalie Portman play brother and sister. And then Aiza's sort of a companion or guide. But man, sign me the fuck up, Guy Ritchie. Say less, man. Say less. Stranger Things 5 has wrap production, everybody. There's some cool BTS photos of the cast on production. And it's still aiming for a 2025 release. So we shall see if they're able to get it out in time. I'm sure they will. Let's talk about Marty Supreme. First of all, Timothee Chalamet's press tour for A Complete Unknown is just legendary. I love the guy even more. I didn't know I could like Timothee Chalamet more, but his press tour, the videos he's making, his personality really shining and him really expressing himself to the public, like I think no actor's really done before, is really, really exciting. Especially just taking advantage of social media and how he understands that audiences are on social media right now and doing unorthodox interview methods, going on podcasts, doing interviews with people who have TikTok accounts or just being such a silly fucking film guy. It's just great. I love it. But Josh Safdie's Marty Supreme will release on Christmas Day 2025. Stars Timothee Chalamet, Gwyneth Paltrow, Tyler the Creator, Fran Drescher, and Mr. Wonderful. It's described as an adventure comedy that mixes Wolf of Wall Street and Catch Me If You Can. Very excited about this. Timothy's been answering a few things here and there about it, but I can't wait for this movie. It sounds epic. Absolutely epic. I know we got the trailer for 28 Years Later, but I totally forgot that there's a sequel releasing after it. So 28 Years Later, the sequel will release on January 16th, 2025 in theaters less than a year after the first film's release. The title is 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. I wonder, let me look up and see what the cast is, because I wonder if it's got the same cast, if it's a direct sequel, or so it would have like Aaron Taylor Johnson and Jodie Comer and possibly Killian in it. The Bone Temple. And Ray Fiennes, or is it just, it says Aaron Taylor Johnson's in it. It says Cillian Murphy on Wikipedia, according to Wikipedia, but you know how Wikipedia can be off and on sometimes. So it says those are the only two people cast in the movie that have been released. And it obviously ties to the shot in the trailer of Ray Fiennes' character in 28 Years Later, the trailer where he's standing in front of that massive, massive skull tower and all those pillars made of human bones. And so maybe this is all connected to that. Maybe that's the finale. Maybe the Bone Temple in the 28 Years Later trailer is a finale, or obviously will be a main plot of the sequel. So we'll find out, but that's pretty interesting. And I like how they're getting a sequel out quickly. Jurassic World news. Jurassic World Rebirth. We got a new look and some new exclusive photos of Scarlett Johansson, Jonathan Bailey, and Mahershala Ali. This movie hits theaters July 2nd, 2025. We're going to be eating good in July. We have Jurassic World Rebirth, which I have hopes for. I do have hopes for it. July 2nd, 2025. And then we have July 11th, 2025, Superman's hidden screens. Very exciting stuff. Very, very exciting. The Running Man news. Obviously, Edgar Wright is remaking the Stephen King novel adaptation. His remake has actually been moved up to November 7th, 2025. Pretty exciting stuff. Usually we always get movies getting pushed back, but we have an Edgar Wright movie will be hitting theaters sooner than originally planned, starring Glenn Powell in that lead role. Exciting stuff. A24 dropped a new trailer for, actually, is this an A24 movie? Let me double check. Well, it's Alex Garland's next film. It is A24. Warfare. This trailer dropped. Warfare starring Will Poulter, Charles Melton, Kit Connor, Joseph Quinn, and Noah Centineo. Directed by Iraq War veteran, I can't remember which war he was in, Ray Mendoza and Alex Garland, co-directed, which I think is really cool to direct with a soldier. Hits theaters 2025. Pretty good looking trailer. It feels like a Black Hawk Down, except way smaller in scope, of several soldiers pinned down and stuck trying to be rescued by personnel. So, looks pretty solid. I think one of the better trailers of the week outside of Superman was Death of a Unicorn, another A24 film. We got our first look at it, starring Paul Rudd, Jenna Ortega, and Will Poulter as well. The film follows a father and daughter who run over a unicorn on their way home. Spring 2025 will be its theatrical release. And I thought it was pretty interesting and cool. You know, A24, they're shooting shots where we have so many IP chasers for studios and remakes and reboots. We loved A24 because of the unique movies they make, and Death of a Unicorn is as unique as it comes. Yeah, it looks like a great blend of comedy as well as horror, and also a bit of a monster movie at the same time, because this unicorn they think is dead, and then they have some people want to experiment on it, and obviously overarching themes of capitalism, corporatism, of wanting to exploit resources, I guess you could say. And then we have, it seems like the partner of that unicorn is coming back for it and wants blood. So it looks pretty fun. We got another trailer as well for Karate Kid Legends, our first trailer. First look at Jackie Chan, Ben Wang, and Ralph Macchio in Karate Kids Legends. Hits theaters May 30th, 2025. This trailer looks pretty fucking good, guys. This trailer, the visuals are really solid. Takes place, I think it's New York City. But man, the visuals are great. And the trailer really touches upon the different styles of the backgrounds of, Daniel and then Jackie Chan's character, and how one learned Kung Fu, one's karate, and then we have our new character, Ben Wang, who is being trained by both of them, it looks like. I thought this trailer looked pretty good. Not gonna lie. Looked pretty good. Looking forward to it. Karate Kid's still hot. Skeletor news. Jared Leto will play Skeletor in Amazon's live-action Masters of the Universe. Masters of the Universe, Skeletor, Jared Leto. I guess that's a pretty good choice, but I mean, Skeletor, it's probably going to be animation, right? Because Skeletor's massive, and it's got a skull head, so it's probably, I bet it's just a voiceover role, maybe with some mocap. Let's talk about Black Bag next. So we got our first trailer for Steven Soderbergh's Black Bag, starring Michael Fassbender and Cate Blanchett as married spies. This is in theaters March 14th. Soderbergh's killing it. He's got 2 movies coming out very soon. He's got this and then Presence, the supernatural horror thriller. Now, Black Bag, this trailer is really good. It has a feel of Mr. and Mrs. Smith mixed with an Ocean's movie, but also sort of a Fincher vibe, this dark Fincher vibe. I thought it looked really good. Fassbender and Cate Blanchett, 2 of the best actors out there. Both play spies, I believe, for the same agency, but one goes rogue. Cate Blanchett goes rogue on a mission. Fassbender has to find her. I believe she carried out an assassination or stole something. I can't remember exactly off the trailer. I saw it a few days ago. But the trailer looks really good. And this is actually something I think I'd check out. Even though that couples being spies thing is a bit of a trope, this is a unique spin, and it's got a great dark tone, which I'm very into. Got some news for House of the Dragon. Season 3 will begin filming very soon. Q1 of 2025. So that's somewhere between January and March. They're going to start filming House of the Dragon. And man, they better fix some shit, because I don't know anyone that left season 2 excited for season 3. And that's coming from Anthony and I, who loved season 1 and loved the first 4 episodes of season 2. But man, that show went in such a wrong direction, I think. And it felt very drawn out. It felt like Bilbo Baggins in Fellowship of the Ring. It felt like butter spread across too much toast. It's just too much. And not much happened, it felt like. Hopefully they can fix that and correct it and right the ships for season 3, because House of the Dragon is just some of the most phenomenally made television out there. And it'd be a damn shame if they can't get it back on track, because it's so well produced. Next up, we have some Peaky Blinder news, the movie for Netflix. We got a new look at Cillian Murphy and Barry Keoghan on set of the film, giggling, chuckling, having a laugh. Stephen Knight hopes to have the Peaky Blinders film ready by the end of 2025. So 2025 and 2026 are going to be fucking massive, guys. Absolutely fucking massive. This is insane. Clayface. We got news that Mike Flanagan's making a Clayface movie for about $40 million, writing and directing. It's being described as DC's version of The Fly, in theaters September 11th, 2026. That sounds cool. I think you followed the blueprint of The Fly, Jeff Goldblum horror movie with Cronenberg. I think that's smart. And obviously that means the guy who plays Clayface or girl will be a scientist. Scientific experiment goes wrong, and an uncontrollable metamorphosis takes place, turning them into a monster. So sign me the fuck up. The grosser the better, too. We have some Scream 7 news, guys. Courtney Cox and Mason Gooding will both return for Scream 7. Scream 7, obviously, I think is coming out next year, so we'll see how that goes. I mean, I was not too hot on Scream 5 and 6, so we'll see what happens with this one. But I'm guessing they're going to pass the reins off to Sydney's daughter now that they've cast an actress as the lead for that. Next up, we have Bananas, a new Apple TV drama, new series starring Oscar Isaac and Ana de Armas, the latter of who is set to executive produce for Apple TV Bananas, and David O. Russell is set to direct. Interesting. No comment. Dune Prophecy news. Dune Prophecy has been renewed for a season 2 at HBO. I personally did not watch that show, but clearly they got some views and enough views to warrant a second season. So Dune Prophecy season 2 is greenlit. Of all the IPs that have reboots and remakes and whatever, I think this one needs to stop. A Ghostubsters animated movie is in the work at Netflix. Chris Pearn from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs is set to direct. I think Ghostbusters is just dead. Just let it die, guys. Of all the IPs, just Ghostbusters, just let it go. Just put it on a little boat like Boromir and just push it down the river for Faramir to find. Just let this franchise, let this IP go, guys. It's done. It's cooked. It's absolutely cooked. We got a new look at Sinners, Ryan Coogler's vampire thriller, which I know the marketing makes it seem like it's not a vampire movie. Sinners is a vampire film. March 7th, 2025, its theatrical release. And Michael B. Jordan are in a great photo in a new look for this movie. This is going to be cool because we have 2 twin doppelganger movies coming out. We have, obviously, twins with Sinners, but then with Mickey 17 in April the next month, we have clones. So this is really exciting. We're going to have 2 doppelganger twin movies with 2 of the biggest actors on the planet. I think it's going to be maybe a trend going forward. So that's pretty exciting stuff. But Sinners looks phenomenal. IMAX release. Warner Brothers, cannot wait for that one. I believe it's Warner Brothers. Anyways, Beef Season 2. Sung Kang-ho has been cast in Beef 2. Beef Season 2. The lead from Parasite, the father. And just such a talented actor. He's been in so many great South Korean films. It seems like a lot of these South Korean actors are now crossing over to American TV and film, which is really exciting because there's so much talent over there. And this is awesome news. This is also going to star Carey Mulligan, Oscar Isaac, Charles Melton, Kaylee Spaney, and Young Jung. What a fucking cast. Cool. The Housemaid. This is a new movie that will come out on Christmas Day in 2025. The Housemaid will star Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried. The film follows a young woman who becomes a housemaid for a couple, but soon learns that the family's secrets are far more dangerous than her own. My guess is Sydney Sweeney will be the maid, and Amanda Seyfried will be the wife of the couple. So, wait and see what the trailer's like. I'm sure we'll get a trailer in like 3-4 months. Megan 2.0 news. We got our first look at Megan in Megan 2.0 in theaters June 27, 2025. That's about it. Hurry Up Tomorrow. Now, this is a movie with The Weeknd. Hurry Up Tomorrow is a psychological thriller. It releases on May 16th in theaters. Did he direct this? Hold on. Hurry Up Tomorrow. Yeah, The Weeknd. It's an album. So he's doing a movie and an album at the same time. Not directing it, but it's based on his album Hurry Up Tomorrow. And he'll probably he'll have a cameo, but he's not in it. So it's starring Barry Keoghan, Jenna Ortega, and Charlie D'Amelio. Sorry. Directed by Trey Edward Schultz. Oh yeah, The Weeknd's gonna be in it. Yeah, never mind. So a movie based on his album, May 16th theaters. All right. We have news on Nobody 2. We got our first look, or a new look at Bob Odenkirk in Nobody 2. And he's in a garage holding a fucking Tommy gun. A Tommy gun. Fucking badass. I haven't seen a Tommy gun in a movie in a while. This hits theaters August 15, 2025. I'm telling you, this 2025, we're going to be eating good, guys. We're going to be eating good. Our final bit of news is another reboot, another remake. Anaconda, the new movie, is going to star Paul Rudd and Jack Black and will release on December 25th, 2025, Christmas Day. That's like 5 movies coming out Christmas Day, 2025. The film follows a group of friends facing midlife crises who decide to go to the rainforest and remake their favorite movie from their youth, Anaconda. I remember we talked about this like a month ago, but the studio and Rudd and Jack Black released a video talking about it. I did not get a great feeling about this based off that video. It just seems so fake, and I don't know, too light. I like the idea of, sure, Anaconda remake, but I like the tone of the first film. I like the tone of how dark it is. It's gritty. It's genuinely scary and creepy as fuck. But if this is just going to be sort of a Jumanji-esque comedy, not sure how excited I'll be about it. But we'll see. We'll wait until we see a trailer. Who knows? It might be fucking great. It might be the best movie of 2025 or 2026, whenever it releases. But that's it for movie news, guys. Hopefully, I did a good job rocking this one solo. But again, we had such huge news this week. And we can't thank everyone enough for all the interactions and engagements on our Superman clips. So beyond thankful. You know, we're so lucky and fortunate to have built this following and built such a great audience, to get the opportunities to go in person and make content with the cast of Superman. Such a surreal experience. They're all so nice and friendly and funny, and it was such a fun time. But it's only possible because of you all. It's only possible because of everyone who listens to us, watches us, everyone who's following us, you know, everyone who comments on our videos, likes our videos on Instagram and TikTok, and shares them. It's only possible because of that, because of you all. So we're so grateful to be able to share these experiences with you. And again, just so grateful. We hope you all are having a wonderful week and a wonderful holiday starting this week. You know, it's a special time. I love Christmas. I love the holidays. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all happening. You know, this is really my favorite time of year. And I hope you're all safe, happy, healthy with loved ones this week and spending genuine time with each other and really, really enjoy the season. So take care. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to leave those 5-star ratings and reviews. That's what I want for Christmas, are those 5-star ratings and reviews. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow everywhere. Share and comment on our Superman content. And take care, everybody. See you next time. I did Anthony's line too. See you next time. I do it way better. I should be doing the see you next time. I'm way better at it. Just kidding. Anthony's the best. Take care, everyone. Happy holidays. This episode was brought to you by our chosen one patrons, Jacob Kossler and Nicholas Martin. Thanks so much, boys. Raiders of the Lost Podcast is a mirror image production. Sound mixing done by Jacob Kossler. Opening music by Chase Jackson.